morning. Good morning, everyone. Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll try to solve this particular problem and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay. This problem also had come in your final exam. So I'm taking all problems that have come in the final exam itself. So that's such that you won't have any problem in understanding how do we solve such things. Okay. Now, before I come to the problem, it is very important for us to understand what is the problem, right? I think there are 11 people, 12 people. We can start the class. Yeah. So this is a problem that had appeared in the last year's final exam paper. Okay. This is a problem on PF. Okay. The only condition here is the one that we solved yesterday and the one that we are going to solve today. There's one major difference, and that is in the yesterday's problem, we considered that particular employee as he's a person who has not retired from his services. And in this particular problem, we have to understand that this person is going to retire on a particular given day, and then we have to calculate all the benefits of this particular problem. Clear? Second thing is all values here that are given, okay, are on monthly basis. Okay, so we have to convert them into annual basis and then compute the following. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just go through this problem. I'll give you some time, read through this problem, and then I can solve this. I'll solve this particular problem. Have you gone through it? Yeah, any doubts in this?
No, sir.
Okay. So now we'll try to solve this. Okay. Before I try to solve it, please see to it that you have a calculator in your hand, maybe a regular calculator or something, either your laptop calculator or something. See to it that you have some calculator with you, because unless I explain you this, you will never understand how these figures come into picture. Okay. So fine, we'll start with the solution part of this particular problem. Again, I said this is an exam problem, and this is how you need to solve out. Is it visible to you,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
or should I change the color or something like that?
No, sir.
Best thing is I'll make now it's much better. Fine. So we'll start with the first part. We'll start with the salary. Now remember in the problem, okay, his salary was 20,000 rupees per month. His salary was 20,000 rupees per month. But here, why did I should have ideally taken 12, right? I should have ideally taken 12. Why did I take 3?
Sir, because he have retired on 36 2018,
Yes,
3 months.
he has retired on this day. So you have to consider salary starting from 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019. In these 12 months, whatever salary that he received, only that salary you have to consider. Technically speaking, he has received salary only for 3 months because he retired on 30th June. So he is going to receive salary for April, May, and June. So only these 3 months salary is what we have to consider. That's the reason here I have considered 20,000 into 3. Getting it? So in that particular year, he received a salary of only 60,000 rupees. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you? So
Yes,
here,
sir.
his salary for that particular year is only going to be 60,000 across all the 3 segments. Okay. Next, we come to DA. Right now, it is very clearly told 1/3 is a part of retirement benefit. But when has he retired? He has retired on this date. So before this date, he did not retire. So we have to consider 6,000 into 3 because after his retirement, then we'll consider his retirement benefit. But before his retirement, full DA has to be considered. That is what I've done. So 6,000 rupees into 3. So my value comes to around 18,000 across 3 segments. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, Mrunali, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Clear. So we have taken his salary into consideration. We have taken his DA into consideration. Now we will take the pension. Okay, we will take pension at a later stage because first our priority is provident fund because that is what the problem is. So payment of provident fund on retirement. Just look at this. Payment of provident fund on retirement. Employer has contributed 3,30,000. Okay, interest thereon is 44,000. Okay, just understand one thing. If 3,30,000 is if 3,30,000 is the employer's contribution, okay, and this is the interest on that particular amount, the balance amount, that is 7,60,000 minus 3,30,000, is the contribution made by the employee himself. Are you able to understand? I repeat once again. Payment on provident fund on retirement. This is a point. And it clearly says employer's contribution is 3,30,000. Okay. And interest thereon is 44,000. Total amount coming is 7,60,000. Now, if you add these two, it is not coming to 7,60,000. It is coming less than that. Then what about the balance amount? This particular balance amount is contributed by the employee himself towards his provident fund. Okay. Now, how does this calculation work is what I'm going to explain to you. Okay. Now, then we have continuing with the employer itself. There is one more combination here. Employer's contribution is around 3,000 rupees per month. Okay, it is said employer's contribution is 3,000 rupees per month. When is this contribution of the employer? Before he retires. See, understand one thing. An employer will always contribute towards your PF only when you are in service. Once you have retired from the service, your employer is never going to pay you anything as far as PF money is concerned or monthly contribution is concerned. So right now what we are doing is we are taking into consideration what is employer's contribution. So what is your employer's contribution per month basis? It is 3,000 rupees per month. So let us see how the calculation works out. So PF by employer is 3,000 rupees per month, again into 3, because in that particular financial year you are only there in service only for the first 3 months. So 3,000 into 3. Okay, and this is going to be checked with the percentage that has been set by the standard. What is the standard? Your salary should not be more than 12% of your salary. Your PF contribution should not be more than 12% of your salary. What is 12% of your salary? For that, first thing is we need to know what is salary, right? So salary here is going to be 60,000 plus 1/3. Now, can somebody tell me what is this? Why I have taken 1/3 here now? 1/3 is your DA.
One third of part of retirement benefits, sir.
Part of
Retirement benefit.
retirement benefit, yes. Any other answers? What you say is correct, no doubt. Any other answers? Okay. Why I have taken one third is because, see, whenever an employer is contributing, we have to keep a check whether this amount of contribution that the employer has done, is it more than 12% or is it less than 12%? So to check that, we have to compute what is his salary according to PF calculations. So according to PF calculations, salary is nothing but your basic salary plus DA, which forms a part of your retirement benefit, plus a fixed percentage of commission achieved by the employee. Here we don't have commission, so we'll leave that, but we have DA and we have salary. So we are going to take only one third of the DA that has been received. So what is one third of 6,000? One third of 18,000? It is going to be 6,000. Are you able to understand? Are you able to get what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
Or is there any doubts? See, honestly, if you have doubts, please let me know, because this problem is
So
important.
can you explain it again, sir? So it's bit confusing.
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll just copy this. Okay, sorry. I'll just copy this. Okay, and I'll get it in Excel, and I'll solve it in Excel itself. So let this
Yes,
be
sir.
as your reference. Let this be the reference.
So,
Yeah.
so the thing is, the problem here is once we are seeing the problem, once we are seeing the solution,
I
so we are getting a bit confused, sir, because if
understood.
problem is in front, we don't have any confusion, sir.
I understood.
That's the problem that we are encountering.
I'll just put the problem also here side by side. Give me a minute. Are you able to see this now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is a problem. Okay, this is a problem that you have, and this is a solution for that particular problem.
Yes, sir.
Quickly, I will explain to you, because we are wasting a lot of time in problems. Other things have to be covered up. Okay, so first two parts are done. Salary and DA is done. I will not explain this once again. We'll come to PF. Okay, now what is the employer's contribution to PF? It is 3,000. Is it visible to you now at least?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No doubts, right? In seeing the visuals of it.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir, it's visible.
Okay. Now, see, we are going to calculate what is employer's contribution. Can you see the cursor here that I'm moving?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm checking employer's contribution. So employer's contribution is 3,000 rupees per month. So I'm going to check here what is employer's contribution. Employer's contribution is going to be 3,000 rupees into 3. That is his whatever contribution that he has received for that particular year. Now we have to check this whether it is greater than 12% or less than 12% of the standard value that has been prescribed to us. So for that I need to check what is my salary. So accordingly, my salary is 60,000 rupees. Okay, and 1/3 of it is a part of my retirement benefit, so I'm going to consider 1/3 of 18,000 rupees. So that is what, if I get it, I'll get some value. Okay, to just help you out with this calculation, I'm just putting it here. So it's going to be 30,000, sorry, 3,000 into 3, that comes to 9,000 rupees. Okay, minus 12% of 60 into 12%, I'll put it as 0.12 into, okay, 1/3 of 18,000 into 18,000 into 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 3. Okay. So I have to check this value. Are you able to understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
it's
Okay. So when I work it out, when I work it out here, okay, the value that I get, it will be 1080. How did I get 1080? Now please work it out, because otherwise I'll be wasting more time in explaining all these things. Did you get it? How did I come to 1080? Just try it out. Looking at that particular expression itself, please try it out. So this value is 9,000 rupees is the first value that I got.
7,920, sir. Minus 7,920.
7,000.
920.
So 9,000 is what you got into 3, and this is what you get is point, sorry,
7,920. Sorry, 7,920.
into 0.12 into 60,000 plus 1/3 of 80,000. Oh, sorry, something is wrong. Okay. If I subtract this, the value that I get is 1080. So this value and this value exactly match each other. So this is how I get my answer as far as PF contribution by the employer. Any doubts in this?
Sir, 12% of what?
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I did not understood.
Narayan, okay. See, what does it say? It says employer's contribution. Okay, what is employer's contribution? In that particular year, what is employer's contribution? 9,000 rupees. Do you agree with me, Narayan?
Yes, sir.
How did I get 9,000? Because it is 3,000 rupees per month into 3 months. So I get 9,000 rupees as my employer's contribution. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubts in this? No.
No, sir.
Now we have to check whether this 9,000 that the employer has paid, is it 12% of salary? We have to check whether it is 12% of salary. Now what is salary for us? What is salary? Salary is nothing but is equal to whatever salary that he has received in that particular 3 months. So how much salary has he received in 3 months? He has received 60,000 rupees. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Plus he is receiving DA. How much is DA? DA is 18,000 rupees is what he is
18,000.
receiving, right?
Yes, sir.
We have to consider only 1/3 of it. 1/3 is nothing but 0.33, or you can directly take as 1 divided by 3. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Clear? Whatever you get, answer you get multiplied by 12%, that will be to some 7,000 odd something.
Yes, sir.
7,920.
Yeah, 7,920. Okay, so this value, technically speaking, this value will be 7,290 rupees.
Yes, sir.
920, sir. 920.
Sorry, 7,920. Now, if you subtract
So
this, 9,000 minus,
1,000.
he has received 9,000, but he's exempted from paying tax only to the tune of 7,920. The balance amount of 1080 is going to be taxable amount. That is what it says.
Yes, sir. I understood. Thank you,
Good.
sir.
Good. Okay, next. Interest credited. Next point is, just look at this. We have done with employer's contribution of 3,000 rupees per month here. Now we have to check for interest computed. Okay, we have to check what is the interest that has been credited. Now, how much is the interest that he has received? He has received 7,500 rupees as interest. Okay, now we have to check this whether it is below 9.5%, that is a prescribed limit, or it is more than 9.5%, is what we have to check. Now, they're very sure it has to be more than 9.5% because it is clearly told to us that the interest is being paid at 15%. Now, 9.5%, just pay attention, all of you. Okay. How much is the interest received? 7,000 rupees. Right? Interest received is 7,000 rupees, 7,500 rupees per year. Fine. Now we have to check by how much percentage is it is excess from 9.5%. He has received interest at 15%. Government has set a limit of 9.5%. So how much extra interest is he receiving? He is receiving an extra interest of 5.5%. So on this 5.5%, we are going to charge him the tax, right? Now, how do we make the calculations? We are going to make the calculations as is equal to 5.5%, that is the extra percent that he has received, divided by 15%, because 15% was the rate of interest that was paid to him. Okay. Once you divide this, you get some answer, 0.33 whatever. You just have to multiply 1 into 2. Okay, when you multiply this, you get 2,790 rupees, 50 rupees. This answer and this answer match. Okay, if you are getting confusion with all these things, best thing is solve it here itself. Solve it here itself, you will get the answer as to what is the amount of tax that is going to be paid, what is the amount of tax that is to be, what is the amount of PF that is to be taxed. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand this, or you are not able to get this? I somehow feel you are not
Getting,
able to
sir.
somehow feel that you are not able to understand this. See, honestly tell me, are you able to understand this, or I will, best thing is I will write this on the board by keeping the camera.
It's understanding, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
this is better.
Yes, sir.
improved.
Okay. Now, why did I take only here? Can anyone explain to me why did I take these two values only here? Why didn't I take the value here? Why didn't I take the value here? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, amount in recognized provident funds, sir, amount in excess of 9.5% per annum is taxable. But unrecognized provident fund and statutory provident fund and public provident fund, they are not taxable. They are fully exempted.
Yes. That is the reason I have not put the values in the other two columns. I have put values only under recognized provident fund column. Okay. Next, we move on to the next one. Can you see one more entry here now? Payment of provident fund. Okay, payment of provident fund. Right now, here there is a something written here. Payment of provident fund on retirement. Employer's contribution is 3,30,000 and interest thereon is 44,000. This amount is mentioned here. Okay. Now I have taken those entries. Employer's payment of provident fund. Okay. Payment of provident fund I have taken here. Okay, and here I have taken payment of interest on employees provident fund. Why have I not taken the values here? Why have I taken the values only here?
So in other cases, they are exempted under.
In other cases,
They are exempted, sir.
yes,
So
they are
under section
exempted from
1011.
tax. In the other cases, they are exempted from tax. See, understand one thing. If you look at the amount, 3,30,000, it is a lump sum amount which has been paid. And any amount that you receive as lump sum from a provident fund, if it is statutory provident fund, completely exempted. If it is recognized provident fund, completely exempted. But if it is an unrecognized provident fund, then it is going to be taxable. So under that particular head, we have to write the two values, that is interest and the lump sum amount that has been received. So here I have taken only 3,30,000 because this is what I have received from the employer. This is employer's contribution. So only 3,30,000 is what I have mentioned here, and the interest on that 3,30,000 is what I have mentioned here. So only these two values have to be considered here. The other value should not be considered in this particular segment. We'll have to consider it somewhere else. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir. So if the employee contribution is there, then that is exempted from tax.
Yes, employee contribution is exempted. Employer contribution as far as unrecognized provident fund is going to
It
be taxable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clear? So we are done with these parts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are done with these parts. If you have any doubts in this, please let me know quickly. Okay, if nothing is there, then we'll move on.
No, sir.
If nothing is there, then we'll move on. Next we have, so we are done with all the PF calculations up to this point. So no PF calculations hereafter. We'll have to take some other aspects that are left out. So what is left out? We have taken basic salary, DA, pension is what we have left out. We have completed this part. So all these parts are clear. Self contribution comes under deductions. So we'll come under deductions into that particular thing. Okay, but apart from that, there is only one thing left, that is pension. Okay, so how much is the pension that he is receiving? How much is the pension?
10,000
10,000
per month.
10,000 rupees per month. Why have I considered 9 months here? Can anyone tell me? Why have I considered 9 months here?
So because he has retired on 36.
Correct. When is pension paid?
So after that.
Paid after your retirement, right? So
Yes, sir.
he will start getting his pension from July. So July, August, September, October, November,
Till
December,
March.
Jan, Feb, March. So for next 9 months, he is going to receive his pension. So if his monthly pension is 10,000 rupees, 10,000 into 9, that works at around 90,000 rupees of pension annually is what he is going to receive. So this is an income for all three heads. So it is going to be considered under all three heads. Now, if you take a total of this, I get my gross salary. Okay, this is my gross salary. Okay, next, from the gross salary, are there any standard deductions mentioned in the problem? Is there any entertainment allowance mentioned in the problem? Nothing is mentioned. So we'll just write down deductions. We'll not write down any value. You can just take the value as 0, 0, and 0 because nothing has been mentioned here. And ultimately, my income from my salary is going to stand at around 1,68,000 for statutory, 1,71,830 for recognized, and 5,42,000 for unrecognized provident fund. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, done with this. Now we also have one more entry called as interest on self contribution. Are you able to understand? Interest on self contribution. This employee, whoever is there, he is contributing himself to his PF. Okay. So whatever contribution that he does, that is exempted. Fine. But he is earning interest also on that. So whenever he earns interest on that, that amount has to be taxable. So here No doubt it's called interest on PF, but we will call it as, okay, we'll call it as income from other sources. Okay, interest on PF. So this is the amount that he is going to receive. Are you able to understand? Income from interest, whenever a person receives an income from interest, okay, it is nothing, it comes under the head income from other sources. Even though it is from PF account, but still it will be considered as income from other sources, and that's the reason only under the last head it has to be considered. Can you tell me why did I not consider it under the first two heads?
Exempted, sir.
Yes, they are exempted. Any interest,
Exempted from tax.
yes, any interest that you receive on your self contribution, if you are a statutory and a recognized provident fund, it is completely exempted. But if you are an unrecognized provident fund, it is going to be taxable. That is the reason only in the last column I have mentioned 46,000 rupees, right? So if you see, we have taken all these points into consideration. Now the only thing that is remaining is the last point here. Okay, Mr. A has deposited entire PF amount in a company deposit scheme at 9%. How much PF did he receive? How much PF did he receive? He totally received
7 lakh
7,60,000, right?
60.
So out of the 7,60,000, okay, this person has deposited at 9%. Okay, he has deposited at 9%. Now we should not take, this is 9% for full year, so we have to take only for from 1st July. Why? Because when do you receive PF? On your retirement, right? When do you receive your PF? You receive your PF only on retirement. So after you retire, you got 7,60,000. So let us say you retired on 31st July, sorry, 31st, not 31st, 30th June is what you retired. After 30th June, from 1st of July, you got 7,60,000. You invested the money immediately in a company deposit scheme. So you are eligible for interest of 9% for next 9 months. Are you able to understand? Are you able to get what I'm trying to tell you?
Yes, sir.
So accordingly, you get the value as 51,300 under all three heads. Can somebody please calculate this? How did I get this 51,300? Somebody can please calculate it.
So 7,60,000 into 9% into 9 by 12.
Into 9 by 12. Yes.
12.
So it works out. I'll just explain to you here quickly, because that is the last part that is remaining. So 9% is the rate of interest. Okay, amount invested is 7,60,000. Okay, and please understand that this in 9% interest is for the entire year. It is not only, it is not for per month basis. It is entire year. But we have not invested our money for the entire year. We have invested our money only for 9 months. So how will the calculations work out? It's going to be 9 divided by 12. Okay, so it will be 9 divided by 12. If you make this, okay, it works out at 51,300 rupees. On the other hand, if I don't consider this 9 by 12, what happens? Interest for the full year is going to be considered. Then it comes to 68,400 rupees. That's wrong, because you have not invested your money for the first 3 months. April, May, June, you have not invested because you did not retire and you did not have money to invest. So you cannot consider 9% into 7,60,000. You have to consider 9% of 9% into 7,60,000 into 9 by 12. Only then the calculation comes correct. So all these three amounts I have mentioned under the three columns. Okay, I get my gross total income as this particular amount. This is my gross total income. How did I get my gross total income? Is basically, okay, net salary, add all this. Okay, it comes. This is my gross total income. Okay, less deductions. Now, can you tell me from where did I get this 20,000 rupees? less deduction of 80 under section 80C. From where did I get this 20,000 rupees? Can somebody tell me?
Employer contribution is not this.
Yeah, can somebody tell me quickly from where did I get this? Okay, just look at
So
this.
51,300.
No, not 51,300. This value. I want you to tell me this particular value that I'm going to highlight in the blue color. This particular value that I will highlight in blue color. Yeah, please tell me from where did I get this 20,000 rupees?
Employer's contribution, sir.
Employer's contribution. Where is it? Where is employer's contribution? But why 20,000 then? Can somebody tell me quickly?
Basic salary, sir.
Yeah, how can you take basic salary as a deduction? It is employee's contribution, right? It is employee's contribution, self contribution. Okay, but I want to know from where did this value come? 20,000 rupees.
So that totally 7,60,000 is there, sir. But the employer contribution is 3,30,000, but interest is 44,000. Totally, it will be 3,74,000,
Okay.
and the remaining is 3,86,000, sir.
Okay.
The deduction of that, it will be 12,000, sir, not 20.
If you have understood the problem,
The balance
understood the problem correctly, then it's good.
Is it in the so is it in the rules in that other slide?
What is the rule?
So there was another slide which you have shown, like all the the government and what you say, so government regulated already. It is given over there a fixed amount and a fixed percentage and all.
Okay. No, but my question is very simple. From where did I get this 20,000?
Yeah, from that only, sir.
The problem is in front of you.
It is directly. Is it directly mentioned over the 20,000?
No, but why 20,000? I can write 30,000 also there. Who's stopping me from writing 30,000? Just think about it and tell me. Okay. If not, definitely I'll tell you in the next class, no doubt about it. But I want you to just think over it. Okay. And hereafter, please, I have to rush because there are a lot of things that I have to cover up. Okay. So that is the reason. From the next class, will not waste so much of time on problems, because if I keep on solving all this, it will be very difficult for me to complete the remaining part of the syllabus. Remember, we are in October, first week also is about to get over, and by 7th or 8th of December, your term is going to end. So we have to complete a lot of things before that. Okay, whatever problems are there, I will give it to you in a PDF. Solved problems, I will give it to you in PDF so that you can refer it. Okay, because if I keep on solving it here, then it becomes literally very difficult for me to solve it. Clear? So just I need your cooperation in this. As far as any difficulty is concerned, I can definitely solve the problems here. But solving each and every problem and explaining you here, it's a bit difficult for me.